Now, you actually started taking dance lessons, ballet, I guess, at 2 years old?
At 2 years old is when I first had my, my first set of ballet shoes. I can't tell you that I knew what I was doing,
Right.
but that was my first introduction to dance at 2.5.
That's just a crazy early age. Like I don't remember, I didn't think I was doing anything at 2 years old, as opposed to, maybe drooling on myself and, throwing stuff.
Parents have dreams of their little girls being princesses and their boys probably being in sports or something to that degree, so we didn't necessarily have teachers that disciplined us like they do overseas at such an early age. But I just had shoes at 2.5 and learned some basic steps that I really didn't quite absorb so early on. But by 4, I was in dance classes seriously.
Sure, and you actually started like really seriously pursuing that.
Well, no, I wasn't pursuing anything as a 4-year-old.
Well, I mean, as you got older, I meant with dance.
Yes. It started early as far as enrollment in classes and my parents just keeping us busy early on, thankfully. You can get trapped in a lot of trouble if you're not busy as a kid.
Right.
So I quit for a minute because I was just so tired by age 10 from doing majorettes, gymnastics, ballet, tap, jazz, violin, piano. It was great and contributes to everything that I do now. I understand and how to use it properly, but you get burnt out. And at 10 I quit, but by 12 I said that's what I want to do. When I saw Gregory Hines and Savion Glover in the movie Tap, girls aren't really allowed to do that at that age. You didn't see any girls doing that, but that's what I wanted to do. So I started taping things on PBS and taking that rhythm tap craft very seriously and studying every single day. And by 13 I went to New York to take a lot of master classes. Didn't know where it was going to lead, but I was hoping for Broadway eventually.
Right, and like Savion Glover actually noticed you and included you in some of the stuff that he was doing, right?
Well, yes. Lots of tap dancers come to many states in the U.S. as well as abroad. And at that time in my life, Savion Glover was doing something called residencies, Washington, D.C. being one of the stops. So he would spend about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a month there. Every year he would audition a set number of kids, teenagers, to be in a troupe. And at the end of that residency, you would perform at the Kennedy Center, which is a world-renowned theater and center. I didn't make it the first 2 years. My chops weren't up enough. By the 3rd year, I made it. And he allowed me to have a solo at that closing out performance at the end of that residency.
Dope. So at what point, I mean, it seems like up to that point, you were looking at dance as your career.
I didn't look at dance as my career.
No?
I wanted to be a veterinarian or a psychologist.
Oh.
As far as pursuing something in college, dance was fun to me. Dance was a hobby. But there was also newness for, first of all, the craft rhythm tap. It wasn't quite popular as far as career. I loved to do it. I loved the musicianship and the percussionism of it. But opportunities and platforms are the career word was just not associated with that. Though I made a hustle out of it and performed at lots of places, paid or unpaid, I was still in high school. I did take Broadway into consideration, possibly after college, but I knew that I would have to study theater as well as dance and voice. And other things happened during that time.